was a moonless night when the first scream echoed through the narrow lanes of Rampur, a forgotten village surrounded by dense forest. The villagers had long believed that something evil lived beyond the banyan trees near the old well, something that came out only when the darkness was too deep to see through. That night, even the wind refused to blow and the dogs howled without reason. Gehara Andhera, whispered the old priest, clutching his trident as the oil lamp beside him flickered violently. But no one truly believed in the old dailies anymore. Among them was Rohit, a young man who had recently returned to the village after studying in the city. He was practical, modern, and laughed at ghost stories. He often told his friends there are no ghosts, just superstitions to scare kids. But destiny had a way of proving him wrong. That evening, as the sun sank behind the forest, Rohit and his friends Maya, Karen, and Vijay decided to explore the old Awakens, the haunted well said to be home to a Chudail. They carried torches, laughter, and the arrogance of disbelief. The air grew colder as they neared the well. The trees around them seemed to move, their twisted branches reaching out like skeletal hands. The faint smell of rotting pumpkins filled the air. Who keeps pumpkins in a forest? Maya asked nervously. Rohit kicked one of them, and it burst open with a splash of thick, dark liquid that smelled like blood. Before they could react, a faint whisper came from the well, soft at first, then clearer. Beach. Why did you break my seed? The group froze. Karen shined his torch toward the well, and there she was. Woman with pale skin, long tangled hair that dragged on the ground, sitting on the edge of the well just like in the old stories. Her head tilted slowly, eyes glowing red, lips curling into an eerie smile. Rohit's laughter died in his throat. They ran, tripping, shouting, falling until they reached the village. But when they looked around, Vijay was missing. Panic set in. Villagers gathered, holding lanterns and weapons. No one goes near that well, shouted the priest. That's where she lives, the pumpkin witch. Long ago, she was betrayed and killed there. Her blood mixed with the pumpkin seeds buried in that soil. Since then, every pumpkin that grows there feeds on human souls. Rohit couldn't believe it. Yet when dawn broke and Vijay's body was found near the well, eyes wide open, skin shriveled, pumpkin vine twisted around his neck, disbelief turned into horror. That night, Rohit couldn't sleep. The whisper echoed in his head, Beach. His phone suddenly buzzed, an unknown number, and on the screen appeared a distorted image of the woman near the well, her hand reaching toward the camera. He dropped the phone, but it kept ringing. The voice on the other end whispered, A.B. Terry Bari, hi Rohit, now it's your turn. Rohit, the lights went out. The window rattled, and from the darkness beyond something moved slowly, deliberately dragging its feet toward his door. Gehara Andhera had just begun. To be continued. Before we move to Chapter 2, if you're enjoying this chilling story, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on the bell icon, because the next chapter reveals the horrifying truth behind the cursed well and the Chudail's revenge. The next evening, the entire village gathered in the temple. Fear had turned into chaos. Every corner of Rampur echoed with whispers of the Chudail who rose from the well when the darkness grew deepest. The priest warned everyone to stay inside after sunset, but Rohit couldn't. Guilt and confusion tore him apart. Vijay's death wasn't just a coincidence, it was a curse he had awakened. Determined to end it, Rohit met an old woman who lived near the forest's edge. Known as Dadi Kamla, she was blind, but her eyes still seemed to see through souls. When Rohit begged for help, she said in a trembling voice, "You broke the sacred seed, child." Pumpkin wasn't just a fruit, it was a prison. Years ago, a woman named Galaba was accused of witchcraft. The villagers burned her alive near the well, but before dying, she cursed them all. Her spirit merged with the soil, and every pumpkin that grows there carries her soul. You freed her by breaking that seed. Rohit's heart pounded. How do I stop her? He asked. Dadi Kamla handed him a rusted trident soaked in oil and ash. When the moon turns red, she rise again. You must burn the vine connecting her to the soil. But beware, she call you by your name. Don't answer her voice, no matter what. That night, the moon bled crimson. Rohit armed himself with the trident, torch, and holy water. Maya insisted on joining him despite his protests. As they neared the well, the air grew unbearably heavy. The ground beneath their feet was pulsing like veins. The well shimmered in the moonlight, and then she appeared. The Chudail rose slowly, her eyes glowing brighter than fire, her voice echoing through the night. Rohit, Mera Beach Tadia, AB to be Mir Sathaw. Rohit, you broke my seed. Now come with me. Maya screamed, don't answer her. But the sound of Gulabo's voice was hypnotic, looping around Rohit's mind like smoke. His vision blurred. He saw images, the woman being tied, burned alive, screaming for mercy. Her pain, her betrayal, all flashing before his eyes. Suddenly, he realized the curse wasn't just about revenge. It was about sorrow. Rohit shouted, I didn't mean to free you. I'm sorry. The Chudail stopped. For a brief second, her expression softened, then twisted back into rage. Too late. She screamed, her hair shooting like tendrils toward him. Rohit thrust a trident into the ground, piercing the root vine of the pumpkins. The earth shook violently. The well glowed red, then black smoke erupted as if the darkness itself was burning. The Chudail shrieked, her voice splitting the night sky. Maya poured holy water around the well, creating a circle of fire. Gulabo's form began to fade, her scream turning into a whisper, Anhera Kabi Katam Na Yoda. Wo surf Japiata High. Darkness never ends. It only hides. The flames consumed the vines, and the night fell silent once again. By morning, the well was gone, just a crater of ashes. The villagers thanked Rohit, calling him a hero, but he didn't feel victorious. Every night after that, he heard faint whispers outside his window. Sometimes he'd see pumpkin vines growing near his doorstep, no matter how many times he burned them. And once, while looking into his mirror, he saw a reflection standing behind him, smiling. That's when he realized the Gehara Andhera never truly left. It lived within him now, waiting for another moonless night.